Bigger sensor, higher resolution. We've lowered the barrier for independent filmmakers to come into this world and to create exciting content.
I'm here with Kinson Loo, who is the CEO of Zcam, and they have a couple of new interesting cameras. So maybe Kinson, can you walk us through these cameras?
Yes, of course. We actually launched the Zcam E2 in Germany last year during Photokina in September. It was just the time that we shipped our first batch of Zcam E2. And earlier this year, April, in NAB, we announced this E2 Flagship series. And we promised the market to deliver and to ship in October. So we are very excited to the shipment of these new models. The three Zcam E2 Flagship models, the E2-S6, which is a Super 35 6K, the E2-F6, the full frame 6K, and also the E2-F8 full frame 8K.
How come you have decided to launch three cameras at the same time?
Form factor wise, they are actually the same, all the three flagship models. I think the customers, the market out there is getting more and more demanding, and different people may want different camera depending on their budget, depending on what their clients need to deliver. Sometimes they need to deliver in 4K, sometimes they need to deliver in 4K, but they want to shoot in 6K. But in some cases, I just met with a customers here, they just want to shoot in 8K. So I think it's always better to have more choices available to the customers. And so long as we can make it, then we just want to make sure that we support all these customers. But behind the scene, on the product level, these cameras, including the Zcam E2, they actually share more or less the same platform. So for us, it's not too much of the work. So the work is actually more to redesign the housing, try to further optimize the housing, the design, and also try to take care of the new lens mounts, because in the flagship series, we are going to make both the EF and the PL lens mount. So those are new things to us, so we want to make it right. And based on customers' request, we want to make those lens mounts also user interchangeable.
What are the differences in between those three cameras? For those people out there who are excited about all these new cameras, they might want to know, what are the real differences?
Well, the major differences, as you can see, is the bigger sensor size, obviously. Because the E2 is a very impressive, amazing camera, but E2 is a 43-inch sensor. Some people may want a bigger sensor. So this time, with the E2-S6, then they got a Super 35 sensor and the 6K resolution. If they want full frame, then we got both the full frame 6K and also the full frame 8K. I think the full frame 8K is really a lot of resolution, because if you can imagine 8K, you actually have 4 times 4K. So lots of pixels.
With the aesthetics of full frame, right? In comparison to the micro four thirds that you mentioned earlier.
Correct. So on one hand, you have bigger sensor and higher resolution. On the other hand, you can still maintain the small form factor. Zcam, we always want to make more user-friendly cameras. Bearing in mind, top priorities is always our image quality and also the color science. We want to make it in the smallest possible footprint and size. And at the same time, we try to make the price more affordable, particularly for independent filmmakers. We try to lower the barrier for them to come into this world and to create exciting content.
That's true, and I think they have a full range of choices now. Maybe you can let us know what the prices are for those three cameras.
So our most expensive one here in the flagship series is, of course, the full frame 8K. The price is $5,995, $5,995 US. The full frame 6K just $1,000 less, so it's $4,995. And I think the best value for money here in the flagship series is the Zcam E2-S6. That is $2,995, just below $3,000.